Hey, YouTubers, Tasman here, bringing you another episode of Tasman's Virtual Foundry Virtual Tabletop. Not Tasman, sorry. Foundry Virtual Tabletop version 12 from the ground up. And so, in our last episode, we kind of focused on token auras, and I was like, it's really actually kind of hard to do. I'm not going to go straight down the list, but I did want to show you. So there was one thing that I did think of that I wanted to actually show you, that we didn't end up doing. And I kind of tried, but I was forgetting where I actually was. What we're going to do for this is kind of it's how to use those effects, and this is how you might, if you wanted to say, oh, I have a magic item, it's a ring of giant strength or something, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. I wanted to show you how you can do that where it uses those effects, and when you wear it and equip it, it actually works. So it's kind of not really, this is something you could do without any of the mods. This is actually a base thing, and I wanted to do it, but I forgot to mention it. So now that I've done this really long explanation, let's go ahead and actually make ourselves a magical ring. We'll just call it, I don't know, like Ring of Giants or something. What we're going to do, we're going to just come into items here. We're going to create an item, and this is going to be an equipment. So we're going to go to equipment, hit create, and then inside here, we'll go ahead and just call this Ring of Giants. Ring of Giants. And let's give it a nice little icon here. If we go to core, and then icons probably, and maybe equipment, finger, missed it. Something on the finger, that definitely is going to be rings, right? Oh, look at all these beautiful rings. So this is going to boost your AC. So let's look for a ring. There's a perfect one right there. A shield kind of gives you, basically it's going to give you the same buff as a shield. It's going to give you a +2 to your AC. So let's go ahead here and let me just think real quick. So now we need to go to our effects, and we're going to add an effect, and it's not going to be called Ring of Giants because this is just the effect. I'm just going to call it +2 AC just so we can keep track of it. So +2 to AC. And let's see, do we need an effect is suspended? We can leave that as is. That's fine. I don't think we need anything in here. Duration is just when you're wearing it. Obviously, it's not an aura, so we're not going to worry about that. But under changes, which if you don't have DAE, the dynamic effects thing, I think this is actually called effects. So if you don't see the word changes here, I think it's called effects. If it's just native, I don't know why they called it changes, but they did. All right, so in here, luckily we have our Koboldworks data inspector, so we actually get a nice list of everything. What we want to do is change our AC, or actually that's not this is the DAE that's doing this, but I'm going to show you something that makes that Koboldworks data inspector really handy. So we're going to do system, can I just hit down, or just, do I click it? System, and then dot, and we want attributes, ATT, attributes, AC, I think we just want this, we want a bonus one. We want this one right here. So this will give us our AC bonus. We're going to add, and we're just going to do, I believe, like we could actually do a -2 if this was a cursed item. If you don't add a plus, it just considers it a plus. I kind of like the plus there just because if I have a minus, it just, I'm weird like that. So if we hit that now, and we now have our ring. That's basically all we have to do. So if we have Cephras here, And we're going to go over here and we're going to go into his inventory, which is this one. And we're going to give him this beautiful ring. And you'll notice that with this ring not equipped, his AC is 13. Please work. I hope this works. And if we equip it, boom, went up by 2. Oh, it actually worked. I'm so happy. So anyway, there you go. That is, how you can actually use it. Now, if we go into effects, you'll see that it is using a passive effects called Ring of Giants, and it's set to, just be a passive effect. If we turn it off here, we can also turn it on here, but we can actually activate and deactivate it right here on our person. So it's best to do it here because, as you can see, as far as the character sheet knows, it still is equipped. So if I unequip it and then I re-equip it, it's inactive in our effects completely. So if we come back to effects and we enable it so it's an enabled effect, now if we, I keep clicking on that one, if we go in here and equip it, it will work again. So it's best to actually, these type of items where it gives you a buff when you're wearing it, is definitely best to have it here. Now, the other thing I wanted to point out is I actually just found a new mod, and it's going to actually work really well on introducing this new mod and actually using a mod that we talked about a long time ago when we were just in the base system, but it wasn't like in the title, I don't think. It's the Koboldworks Data Inspector, which I was so excited and told you guys about earlier. And then I was like, oh, wait, no, that's DAE. So if we come in here, we're going to enable one called Koboldworks Data Inspector. This is a very handy one for drilling down into your character's actual data that the system sees and helps you get the things you want out of it. So what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead right here. Hold on, I need to go look at my notes. Hit this real quick. And let me go to my notes. All right, here and here. And where is... There it is. All right, so I might not have everything on this one, but I've kind of got a good idea of how it works, but it's really cool. So we're going to enable the Kobold Data Inspector, which lets us look at the nuts and bolts of our actual character. And then this other one actually has a dependency that I can't remember what it's called, but it'll pop up here. And then it's actually called token info alt, I think is what token tooltip alt. If we enable that, it'll say we also need code mirror. So you will want to have down the token tooltip alt and code mirror already downloaded in the module screen. We're going to go ahead and say yes there, and then we're going to save this. And I'm going to show you. This is actually a really cool one and would have been quite handy in our when we were doing our actual playthrough of the Kregma Keep and the Goblin Arrows. So one thing you might have noticed, especially with my screen being really compressed like this, compact, because I'm recording at a resolution of 720, is that there's not a lot of desktop real estate. And so like I'd had to keep opening up a character sheet, go in here, okay, they can walk 30, and then coming back in here and going, oh wait, oh, I don't know what their AC is, so I'd have to come in here and go, oh, AC's 18. And then also I lied to you guys, I'm very sorry for this, but perception, your passive perception, I was saying it was just your wisdom modifier plus 10. It's actually your proficiency in, not proficiency, it's your actual perception modifier. not your other one. And if you have some ability that actually gives you an advantage, what you do is you would tack on +5 to that. And we're actually going to show you where you can get that data. And I believe it's automatic as far as, so his passive perception wouldn't be 11, which would be 10 plus this 1. It would actually be 13, because this is that +1 plus our proficiency bonus, which is +2. So that's 3 on our bonuses or whatever, and the +10, that gives us a 13 proficiency. Now, if we had something that said, you have advantage on perception, then we would add 5. If we had something that on top of that, so then it becomes 18. Sorry. If we had something that says you have disadvantage on perception, then you would subtract 5 from that 13 and get down to, what is that, 8, I think. So there we go. All right, so anyway, let's go ahead and talk about this mod that we just installed called Token Tooltip Alt, and we're also going to talk just a little bit about the Kobold Data Inspector. So the Koboldworks Data Inspector, I don't touch anything, to be completely honest, in here. I do not allow editing. That can be very, very scary. You can screw up your character sheet and make it complete corrupt, and then it's just toast. I never allow editing, so I don't like that one. I usually don't have it allowed by my users. It's something that they really don't care about, so I don't need to have the extra icons and stuff on their on their character sheet that might confuse them. And then I just leave it on roll data. So your options are roll data, source, and derived. And the roll data is where most your stuff is. Those are things that in the system that can be rolled on or checked with modifiers and all that fun stuff. So there's that. Under, we'll come back to Token Tooltip Alt. Code Mirror, once again, I don't do anything on this as well. I just leave it where it is. It actually says it's out of date right now. It's not current for the current version, but it does work. So I really, like I said, I don't worry about that one. So let's go look at Kobold Data Works real quick. Koboldworks Data Inspector. Say that one time real fast. So we're just going to click on one of our characters here, and we'll see this new little honeycomb looking icon. And this is the Data Inspector. We're not going to go way into this. We're just going to basically show you how we can get that roll data that we want. So if we come in here and click on it, we can actually see everything about our character that's behind the scenes. This is all the stuff that's in the JSON file of your character. All its data is in here. So for example, we can look under classes here and see it's a paladin. Inside this paladin, there are 12 more entries. So we have advancements, which is there's 0 to 23 of those. As you can see, it's a little array of 0 to 22, which is technically 23 values. I think the 0 ... is telling you that's an array of stuff. But more importantly, we have other things in here, such as, where am I looking? We have things like our skills. We have things like our abilities, and we have things like our attributes. So skills is where our proficiencies are. Not our proficiencies, sorry. Well, obviously it's where our skills are, and we can actually see the proficiencies and stuff like that. So if we come in here and we look at it's PRC. I think PR is performance. So PRC is perception. In here you can see, yes, we're proficient in it. And you can see that it's automatically saying that our passive perception is 13. So if we want to make that so we can actually see it, all we have to do is, if you look in this little black box, I can't move my mouse up there, but you'll see at the top it says @skills.prc.passive. If we use that minus the @ symbol, it will actually return our value that we want. Now I believe, I wonder if we do this. Let's try something real quick. If we come in here, see, I wasn't even thinking about doing this, but then I just had this idea. So if we come in here and say perception, can we say advantage, disadvantage in here? Pass a bonus check, roll range. It's not here, so I'd have to look more about that. I'm not going to worry about that right now because we have a lot to go over and not a whole ton of time. So anyway, what we want to do is make it so that when we mouse over our characters, we can actually get this information. We can get maybe their health. Not as important because you can always right click and see their health right here, but maybe it'll be handy if, like with mobs, we can mouse over, see their health, their movement, what their AC is, and what their passive perception is, because obviously you have to go in and kind of figure that out. So this will make it a lot easier for us. So what we're going to do is talk about our other guy down here called Token Tooltip Alt. And other than maybe changing the size, I think I changed the size here down because it's pretty big. But max rows I didn't really need to do anything with in my testing. Tooltip placement, you can have it right, left, top, bottom, overlay the actual token, surprise me harder. I don't know what that one is. I didn't really play with that. I just left it on right. And then this is saying where is the thing. If you don't understand the actor sheet and stuff like that, the actual data, it's best just to leave this because that's exactly where it needs to be. You can do dark theme if you want. You can make it so that if you hold down the Alt key, every one of them will show that are on the screen except for invisible. So anything that's visible will show. If you have this one, even invisible ones will show. This is where this one gets actually pretty darn cool. So if we go into the Tooltip Manager here, we have the default here. And we have characters, so how your characters, your NPCs, vehicles, and groups. If you set it in the default, that's just going to be the default for everything. If you go and set these other ones, I believe it will override it. If we go in and click edit, we have two options in here. We have what the player might see when they mouse over and what the GM sees. So as GM, I want to say that I can see everyone, right? So let's go ahead and set one of these up. So we're going to go ahead and add 4 of these. And we're going to set the color. The first one we're going to say is going to be our hearts. And this uses, what is it called? Something icons. It's a website. And it uses all these icons. They usually start with FA, which is actually part of that. What it actually is. So for the heart, we're just going to do FA heart, right? For our shield, it's FA dash SHIELD and then a dash alt because that one looks nicer. And then there's for our walking, there's some footprint ones or shoe prints. We're going to do FA dash SHO shoe prints, I think it was PRINTS. And then this last one will be for perception, is called FAIEYE, like that. So heart, obviously we're going to kind of do red. That's a good color for hearts. Shield, maybe a tealish color? I don't know. Let's kind of go this way. Go for teal. We'll do shoe print, maybe kind of a gray. And black would even be visible, but maybe not all the time. So let's kind of do gray for shoe prints. And then the eye, let's do yellow. So we'll just kind of come up here, do 255. That gives us pure yellow. 5250. All right, so now we have our things. So now what we need is our actual values to stick in here. But before we do that, let's talk a little bit about these. So fun doesn't mean it's just fun stuff. This is functions, this is expressions, and this is just a number. All of ours are just going to use a raw number. We just want to get that number. If we wanted to do something where, like there was in JavaScript, writing an if-else statement for our heart and say, you know, if the number is this, then we go and say unhealthy, and if it's not this, we can say wounded, you know, or something like that. And then functions are just writing actual functions that do it. Any of them will use the same thing. It just gives you this little advanced editor, and this is the part that the code mirror actually is using, is how to do that. All of ours, like I said, are just going to be number values that were being returned. All right, so let's look really quick at any character. It doesn't matter. Let's just go with him again. And I want this guy moved over here. So little desk space. And we're going to click on the little honeycomb. And for example, we want to actually get the HP. Well, I know that HP comes from an attribute because it's part of our attributes. So if we click on that, you can see actually, well, we have our AC in here too, but we have our HP. We're going to expand that a little bit. We're going to drill down, and we're going to look at value. This is our current HP. So I'm going to right click on this, and you'll see that it's now copied to the clipboard. I'm going to come up here. I'm going to right click. Well, I guess I can't right click, but I'm going to Control V. Nope, that was the wrong thing. I don't think I wanted to right click this. Oh, maybe I was over that. Maybe I need to be over this part. Yeah, because it's, I think. Let's try that one now. There we go. But I want to get rid of this @ symbol. So we get rid of the @ symbol. The other one we wanted was our AC. So we can come up here under AC. Down at the bottom, we have a value. Right click. Come here. Control V. And we can get rid of the @ And then shoe print. This one's a little bit trickier because it's actually under... it's not under speed. It's actually under down here. Where is it? We are looking for attributes, and then where are you? Oh, I'm not in attributes anymore. So attributes, we don't want AC, we don't want HP, we want movement. So here's movement, and we want the walking speed. So we don't want burrowing. You could always do that with the functions. You can actually have it display, you know, you could actually have it display spell slots and say this many level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, you know, whatever spell level. So with this, we're going to say walk. We're going to right click that. We're going to go ahead here, hit that, and we're going to get rid of that guy. And then finally the eye, this one is not under attributes. This is actually a skill because we want that perception. We were just there. So we go here and we go under PRC for perception, and then go under passive because we want our passive perception. Right click that, come in here, hit V, and paste it. All right, so now that we have all that, we're going to go ahead and close our character. Can I shrink you by double clicking? I can, sweet. Okay, so now that we have all that, we can also double click you and shrink you. All right, we can actually now hit save. So this is saying friendly things right now. So if I hit save, if I now hit alt out here, you'll see we have Merrick, and 14 is health, 14 is AC, walking is 25. It didn't save yet the dark. I don't like that one personally. But you'll notice that bad guys are not showing. This is only good guys. So let's say I want to change that. So right now you'll also notice that everything has this, if I click out here, they have this little green border, right? That is because of this guy down here. If you want it to be a special color, you can actually choose a color. I like magenta myself. It's a nice bright color. So I can actually do that. And now if I hit save and hit alt, now you can see everything has that. If we go ahead and close this guy now, go into Tooltip Manager, we can go ahead and close this guy as well. And if we come in here and actually hit save, now when we hit alt, you'll see they're actually using those darker colors for us now. But we want this to show on enemies and everything else for the GM. So we're going to go back in now, go to Tooltip Manager, go to that one. And what's really nice is we can click copy here, come down and hit paste. So any tokens that have that are considered secret, usually they'll be purple ring around them. We can hit paste, so all hostile ones will be shown and neutral ones. Those are usually the ones that are yellow. Now, let's go look at our players real quick. Well, we don't want our players to see all that stuff, but some handy things for them to see would be on their owned tokens and maybe friendly tokens. Maybe not neutral tokens because it might change to hostile. So usually I would just say there's no real reason for them to know about walking speeds and stuff. So I'm going to hit paste here, and then I'm going to go ahead and just get rid of stuff that, maybe they don't really care about. They can see their health bar right here. They can know what their health is. We don't want to bog them down with too much. So we'll go and do that. This one definitely is good. I'm even going to get rid of the armor because they pretty much will know their own armor class. So right now, all this will be is their movement, because maybe they don't remember that. I don't know. And this one, which is that skills passive perception. That one definitely is a good one. And you can see here that the accent color for them is this. You can have it so, I don't mess with this. Don't know what it really does necessarily. Displays token name in the tooltip depending on disposition. Oh, so this would be only show the name if they know who it is. So does that mean this one has it too? It just has display name. That I might actually get rid of because I already know usually I have their name showing. So I'd probably even get rid of that part. So we're going to go ahead and hit save. We'll go ahead and close this, save this. And now when I hit alt, as the GM, I actually see everyone. If I mouse over someone, I can see them. And if I right click, I can see them. Now, one thing to note is if you right click and then you move over that, it's going to look like it's in your way, but as soon as you try and move into these things, as soon as you move off the token, it'll disappear. So that was one thing I was watching when I was first doing it, going, oh, that's kind of irritating. But it actually goes away. So now we have that. I wonder if I bring up FLC real quick. Maybe I could show you what the player sees if it hurries. This one, I'm not going to do that right now. This is this one. I need to shrink this up quite a bit. All right, so this is that and that. They are gonna own. I've never given them any tokens. This isn't good. All right, hold on just a second. I wanted to show you what they see real quick. Let's just give the Orc Paladin. Let's give them that. So we'll go ahead and say Tazzy is the owner and hit save. All right. So now if we do that and go back to them. And click on Tazzy, user configuration, and say owner. There we go, save. Now I can actually see it, and you'll see if I mouse over it, I can see just those two things. I can't see any of the enemies, can't see my other players because I don't actually own them. But if I actually did own them, like if I owned Merrick as well, because everyone's sharing the same system, it will actually do it if I set the ownership on that as well. So now if we come back to here now and here, now if I do it, you'll actually see any that they actually own. So kind of nice. That's actually a really nice one. I've always used another one, but it doesn't have as much niceness to it. It's actually part of token mold, and it technically only works for the hostile mobs or mobs that don't actually have a linked character sheet. I think this is really nice. I like this one. So there you go. There is Token Tooltip Alt and Koboldworks Data Inspector. I don't know why I really want to call it Kobold Data Works, but that's not it. So Koboldworks, not Kobold Press, Koboldworks Data Inspector, and the Token Tooltip Alt. So there you go. Hopefully, guys, you enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a thumbs up down below. Aside from that, comment, like, and subscribe. Click that little notification bell. Tell other people about my channel. Have them check it out. If they like what they see, they can sub. We grow the channel. Everybody wins. And that is it, my friends. Until next time, I'll be seeing you later. Bye.